So here we are talking about body idioms and expressions that use parts of the body or parts of the human body. There are many parts, some of them common, some of them that are visible. There are, of course, some parts of the human body that are not visible. They are internal, inside, hidden away, under flesh and bones. So some of them are visible and some of them are not. And these are all words and expressions, phrases, if you will. If you want to use that phrase or word, you can. You can say, yes, these are all phrases that are used in English, idioms that are used very commonly in the English language. So let's have the first one right now. Here's the first one. Elbow. Well, this is very easy to find. You have, well, if you are lucky enough to have two arms, you will notice that you also have two elbows. There are some phrases that we can use in English, including this one. You give someone the elbow. You give someone the elbow, which means to push away or exclude a person from a group. So if you give someone the elbow, it means you are pushing them out of a group, maybe something that they were involved with along with you, but now you don't want them to be with you, or you don't want them to be involved anymore. So you will give them the elbow. You will push them out. You refuse to communicate with someone anymore. You give them the elbow. Maybe a person, maybe a friend in your life who you were in contact with, but then they do something or they did something to upset you, and so you gave them the elbow. Maybe you are in a relationship with someone and you've been with them for a long time, but then suddenly they do something that upsets you. Maybe they cheat on you with another person. You give them the elbow. You push or exclude a person from a group or maybe a situation that is taking place. You refuse to communicate with someone anymore. You give them the elbow. Like that. To give someone the elbow. And this one is very commonly used, especially when we are talking in anger. You give them the elbow. I am not going to see my girlfriend anymore. I'm going to give her the elbow because she has been talking to other men. In fact, I think she might have another boyfriend. I am going to give her the elbow. Many ways of using that particular part of the body. You might elbow someone if you are trying to get their attention. So there is another use as well. If you elbow someone, it means you are trying to get their attention. Now that is not figurative. That is actually literal. So you will literally elbow someone. You elbow them. You are trying to get their attention. Maybe you are sitting next to your husband or your wife at night and she is or he is ignoring you. So to get their attention, you elbow them like that. You not harshly. You don't hit them with your elbow. You don't do that. Okay, can I just say you don't do that? You just give them a little tap with your elbow because you are trying to get their attention. So there is another one. Here's our second part of the body. Oh dear me. Okay. There isn't much you can say to that. Lose your head. A person might lose their head if they become uncontrollable in their mood or anger, if they start becoming angry, to become angry or uncontrollable with rage. You are becoming uncontrollable with rage. To become angry with someone, it means you lose your head. If you lose control of your emotions, for example, we can also say that you lose your head, or you have lost your head. You have lost your senses. You are doing things that make no sense. You have lost your head. So when a person becomes angry, quite often they will lose control of their emotions. You lose your head. You have lost your head. And this does happen quite a lot of times. A person might lose their head. We might describe a person who always loses their temper, or they become angry very easily, as a hothead. We might also say hothead. So a person who is a hothead is a person who has a fiery temper, or maybe a fiery personality. They are a hothead. Here's another one. Oh, I like this one. Maybe you have a secret, or maybe someone tells you a secret and they want you to keep that secret safe. They don't want you to tell anyone else what that secret is. They might say, can you please keep a secret? And then they tell you what the secret is. And they need you to reassure them that you will not tell anyone else. You might say, don't worry, your secret is safe with me. My lips are sealed. I will not tell your secret to anyone. So this is said when you want to let a person know that you will keep something secret. You won't tell other people what that secret is. Your lips are sealed. The secret will remain safe and hidden. You can trust me. My lips are sealed. Talking of your mouth, there is another phrase that we often use when we find it difficult to remember a person's name or a certain word. We will say that something is on the tip of our tongue. Something that is on the tip of your tongue is a word or a name that you can't quite remember. But you are sure that you know what it is. But at the moment you can't remember what it actually is. It is on the tip of your tongue. So there is another one connected with the mouth. Now we are going to move a little lower down the body. Are you ready? Okay. Not too low down. To get something off your chest. To get it off your chest. It is something that we often do when we want to tell someone something, maybe a secret, or maybe something that we've really been wanting to tell another person. Maybe something that will be a surprise. You want to get it off your chest. Maybe there is something that has been causing you worry. Maybe you are feeling anxious about something. Sometimes it is really good to get it off your chest, to tell other people what the problem is. I need to get this off my chest. To tell someone about a thing that is worrying you, or to reveal a hidden secret that has been troubling you. It is a very healthy thing to do. And quite often, if you want to talk to someone, maybe there is something that has been worrying you for a long time. It is good to get that thing off your chest. You get it off your chest. We can also say that you unburden yourself. Unburden. If you unburden, it means you take away the problem. You no longer have to worry about that thing. You unburden. the thing that you want to talk about. You get it off your chest. This also is a very common expression. We use this quite a lot in all types of English. Here's another one. This is not a very happy one. The next one is a little bit depressing for some people, so I do apologise if this makes you feel a little gloomy. 1 foot in the grave. We are looking at idioms and expressions connected to the human body. If you have 1 foot in the grave, well, this is a humorous way of describing a person who is old and not long for this world. Maybe a person who looks unwell or maybe under the weather. So if a person appears to be unwell, or if they appear to be sick, you might say that they look as if they have 1 foot in the grave. They are really unwell. So you normally use this expression with someone who you are familiar with. You never use this expression. Never say this to a stranger, because they will be quite upset and offended by it. But if you say to your friend, "Oh, you look terrible today. You look like you have 1 foot in the grave. You look unwell or under the weather. They look like they have 1 foot in the grave." Of course, if you have both feet in the grave, maybe all of you is in the grave. Well, I think we all know what that means. Here's another one. We are looking at body idioms, parts of the body or parts of the human anatomy. Oh, I like that one. Anatomy. The study of the human body, all of the parts and what they are called and what they do is called anatomy. Anatomy. I like that. It's a very nice word. The next one we have now is play it by ear. To play something by ear is to carry out or do something with no preparation whatsoever. So you are doing it without any practice. You are doing it, but you don't really know what it will turn out like or how good it will be. You play something by ear to work out what to do as you go along. So you have no plan. You have nothing prepared. However, you will play something by ear. So quite often, maybe in music, if you are playing the violin or maybe the saxophone, apparently the saxophone is the coolest instrument that exists. The saxophone, apparently. I'm not sure if you agree with me, but apparently the saxophone is the coolest instrument. To play something by ear means you make it up, or maybe you do something without having any practice, first of all. You work out what to do as you go along. You are making your plan as you do it. You have no strategy or plan. You play it by ear. You don't have any plan. Here's another one. Another gruesome one. Another nasty one, you might say. Something that will cost an arm and a leg. Something that costs an arm and a leg. To pay a high price for something, maybe something that is very expensive, or maybe something that is more expensive than you intended. So maybe you want to buy a lovely gift for your wife, and you know that your wife wants a lovely diamond ring for her birthday. So you go out, but you only plan to spend £500. wow, your wife must be amazing. She must be such a lovely lady if you are going to spend £500. But when you go to the shop, you realise that the ring that she wants is actually more expensive than that. It is actually £5,000, not 500. So you have to pay more than you intended. You only intended to spend 500, but instead you have to spend 5,000 on the lovely diamond ring. So you pay more, or you have to pay more than you actually wanted to. The thing in question cost you an arm and a leg. The most expensive thing you ever bought might be the thing that cost you an arm and a leg. Maybe something you wanted, maybe something you always dreamt of having or owning. It cost more than you expected. You might say that it cost an arm and a leg. Here's another one involving a very important part of the body. I don't know what's happening to my nose. I have something up my nose and it's tickling. It's tickling me from the inside. Which sounds like a nice thing, but it's very annoying when you're trying to present a live stream. Here we go, the eyes, a very important part of the body, especially for me because mine don't work very well. A sight for sore eyes. If something is described as a sight for sore eyes, this expression is often used to show a welcome or attractive thing. Something you see that makes you feel better. Something that you see that is attractive or nice to look at. You might say that that thing is a sight for sore eyes. Maybe you see your wife coming down the stairs wearing her new dress and she looks so magical, so beautiful. You might say, darling, my darling, you are a sight for sore eyes. You look beautiful. Something that relieves a bad moment is a sight for sore eyes. A welcome change to raise your spirits, to make you feel better. Something you see or something you look at makes you feel well and happy. It is a sight for sore eyes. There are quite a few expressions we can use concerning the eyes. Maybe if you have to look out for something, maybe if you have to watch for something, a person might tell you to keep your eyes peeled. To keep your eyes peeled. Look out. You are trying to see something. You are trying to find something. You have to keep your eyes peeled. You can't take your eyes away. You have to keep looking carefully. You have to keep your eyes peeled. The next one, this one is a very important one. It's also a very important part of the body. Can you guess what it is? The next one, a very important part of the body. No, it's not that. I know it's very important to you, but it's not the part that I'm thinking of. It's this one instead. Oh yes, the heart. The heart is something we often think of when we think of health. We often think of a healthy heart, a strong heart. You might also have a heart of stone. This is an expression that is often used to describe a person who is uncaring or cold in their character. They have a heart of stone. They have no care for others. They have a heart of stone. To have no empathy or feelings towards another person. You don't feel the emotions of other people. Maybe you don't care about other people's emotions or feelings. We can say that you have a heart of stone. You have no feelings at all. So maybe a lover who decides one day that they don't want to see you anymore, they just cast you aside, they throw you away like a piece of garbage, and you might say that that person doesn't care. They have no feelings. They have a heart of stone. A person who is unemotional. They have no feelings at all, especially when it comes to other people's emotional feelings or their emotions. Here's another one, and I know what you're going to say, Mr. Duncan. This one is just for you. Thank you. Keep your hair on. To keep your hair on. It is an expression in the English language that means to tell a person or to ask a person to stay calm. Don't get too excited. Don't get angry. Keep your hair on. So this expression means stay calm. Stay calm. Calm down. Relax. Keep your hair on. You are telling someone not to panic or get upset. You don't want that person to become worried or concerned about something. You tell them to keep their hair on. Calm down, Dad. Keep your hair on. This is quite offensive, by the way, if you say this to a bald person. If you say it to a person who is losing their hair, they might become slightly angry. You might also say it ironically to someone. So maybe if you say it to a person who is losing their hair, you can say that you are just joking or being sarcastic or ironic. So to keep your hair on is to stay relaxed. Don't become too excited by that thing. Calm down. Keep your hair on. Here's another one. This is the largest organ in the human body. I know you might think it's something else, but it isn't that. The largest organ in the human body is your skin, because it's all over you. And it does all sorts of things. It allows you to feel things. It allows you to stay cool as well. It protects your body from the sun and all the other things as well. But we can also have an expression in the English language as well. Here is an interesting expression. If something gets under your skin, something gets under your skin. Something is annoying you or becoming hard to bear or accept. The thing is getting under your skin. My boss is really starting to get under my skin. Something that is annoying you. Something that is beginning to irritate you. A person who you don't like. Or maybe you have to work with a person who you don't like and they start to annoy you. You can say that they are getting under your skin. That's a good one. I like that one. Here's another one. Oh, yes. I'm sure we all know someone who likes to stick their nose into your business. A person who likes to stick their nose in. To stick your nose in means to pry into someone's private life. To be nosy or over-curious about a person's life. We can say that you are sticking your nose into their private life. To become involved in a situation that does not concern you at all is to stick your nose into their business. You stick your nose in. You are becoming involved in a situation that does not concern you. We can say that you stick your nose in. We can also have a nose for something as well. If you are good at something or good at finding something, we can say that you have a nose for it. Here is our penultimate one. Of course, the word penultimate means the next to last. So this is not the last one. This is the next to last. So the one after this will be the last one. So this is the penultimate one. We are looking at body part idioms. This one is give a hand. You give a hand to someone. To give a hand means to help someone to do something. You give them a hand. You give them a helping hand. To give a person some assistance with a task. Maybe something you are trying to do is not easy for one person to carry out. So you need another person to help you. You need another person to help you do that thing. You ask them to give you a hand. You need some help. You give or lend a hand. So a person can give a hand, or you can ask someone else to give you a hand with something. I will offer my help, and you will ask for help. I will give a hand, and you will ask for a hand. Can you give me a hand to move this piano? Because it's very heavy. Very heavy indeed. You give a hand to someone. You are helping them. You are helping them to do something. Normally something difficult. Maybe carrying a heavy object, for example. Here's another one, and this is the last one for today. Oh, to lose face. Lose face is a very interesting expression. It refers to the front of your face, your visage, as they say in French. Oh, fancy. Lose face. If a person loses face, it means you suffer humiliation. To suffer humiliation. Something happens that makes you feel embarrassed or humiliated. Maybe in front of other people, something happens that makes you feel embarrassed, and maybe other people see it happen. You lose face. To suffer humiliation. To lose your self-esteem. To lose your self-esteem is to lose your confidence because of something that happened that embarrassed you. You lose face. You suffer defeat. If something defeats you, it means you lose. You lose. You are not the winner, you are the loser. And sometimes when you lose, you also lose face as well. Sometimes we have to admit that we were wrong about something, like the other day. The other day when I was talking about a certain movie, I actually named the wrong actress. I will put my hand up and say that I made a mistake. But I also might lose face if I admit to my mistake. So if you admit you are wrong about something, we might also say that you will lose face, because now you have to admit that you were wrong. So there they were, today's idioms connected to the human body.